When you think about a cruise to the Caribbean, you generally think about the large sailing ship with the midnight buffet and the calypso music, right?
Well, up next, we're headed to the Spice Islands on a different kind of cruise that's just perfect for foodies. From the moment the passengers raise the sails, you know this trip is going to be different. The Windjammer Legacy carries about 120 passengers, but there isn't a coat or a tie in sight. Nothing fancier than a clean t-shirt and a pair of flip-flops. This is a barefoot cruise to the Caribbean islands, including St. Lucia, Grenada, and Trinidad and Tobago. For 8 days, the best cabin runs about $1,500.
Does anybody have any questions so far?
This is also a culinary cruise. That means the food takes center stage. And the master of ceremonies is New York City chef Katie Keck.
The thing that's nice about this dish is the ginger really plays very well with the mango. It adds a nice sweetness to it.
Katie's demonstrating how to make a mango glaze for grilling.
Because there's a lot of sugar in the mango glaze, you can't put the glaze on right when you get started cooking because it will burn too much.
Katie's job is to introduce the passengers to the flavors of the Caribbean and to help them connect each island to its food. In fact, that's the fun of the cruise, getting off the ship to explore. Take the island of Tobago, population just 50,000. We found the mother of home cooking on Tobago at Gemma's Treehouse. That's Gemma. Her restaurant is on the edge of the water and literally built in a tree. Here, the recipes are Gemma's. All the cooks are relatives. That's her daughter, Tracy. And the food is local and very fresh.
My son Gads, he caught the fish. That's a fresh fish today. It was red snappers today.
Gemma serves family style, chicken and her son's fresh fish, plus local vegetables like this breadfruit pie and Christophine.
Let me show you one. Follow on. Something like a squash. This is how it looks like.
The foods of the Caribbean are like its moods. They can change quickly. For lunch in Trinidad, the crew sets out an Indian feast on the top deck. Half a dozen curries and this flatbread called roti. The chief steward shows us how to make his favorite roti. To a batch of cooked split peas, he adds fresh garlic, cumin, and a little salt.
And you take it like this, and you fix it in the dough. That's how the peas is inside of the dough.
He rolls it out very thin, so the peas spread out through the dough, and then he cooks it on a special pan.
You can just break it off, and you could eat it like that, or you can just roll it up, and you can eat it like that.
By the way, there was American food in the dining room for the less adventurous.
I'll show you the goat, chicken, fish, and these two mystery items, which I highly recommend.
This is really good. This is like a spinach, only it's very, very spicy. It's really good. It's like a spinach with a nice kind of spicy, exotic flavor.
This trip is about to get a lot spicier. We're headed off for the island of Grenada, known as the Spice Island, and a tropical storm named Chantal is headed for us. Grenada produces about a quarter of the world's nutmeg and a lot of other spices. When we dock in the capital city of St. George's, we leave the ship, rent a car, and go looking for spices. We stop our car on the street in a residential neighborhood, and all around us, the trees are dripping with fruit and spices.
It looks like a smaller kind of banana.
Yeah, these are, they're called fig bananas in many of the islands because they're the small kind.
Katie walks around in the rain with Cecilia Clark, a chef from New York, who chose this culinary cruise for her vacation.
This is wild in the jungle, in the rainforest.
And you could even see that they've built some steps, like sort of nailed wood to that tree to be able to get up there and collect that fruit.
Along the road, we see mangoes, avocados, coca plants, and nutmeg trees, all growing like oaks and maples on a quiet street in Indiana.
Even the leaves smell a little bit like nutmeg, don't they?
And they're just so beautiful
When they open.
crack open and show that awesome red. It's absolutely amazing. It's sort of a Garden of Eden, I must say, to be able to walk up and touch the trees and just be able to smell the scents of the gingers and the cocas and the nutmegs and have them falling out of the tree is really quite an amazing thing.
What we saw growing in the neighborhoods is for sale a few miles away at St. George's Spice Market.
Look, Cecilia, she's roasting corn right on the grill. Can't get much fresher than that.
This is the cocoa. This is what they make Milky Way Hershey's back home. Want to have a taste? This is the tough guy.
The different meals, they gear towards the different islands you're stopping in, and I think that's so important to really get a taste of where you're traveling to.
To really get to the taste of Grenada, Katie asks local chef Dana Hercules to come back to the ship to make the national dish called Oil Down.
We start off by cutting the breadfruit into two, and then we cut it in two again.
She starts by slicing breadfruit, which resembles potatoes, but they're grown in trees and not in the ground. And then she adds water to dried coconut.
Squeeze until all the milk is out.
She adds green onions, yellow onions, and garlic. In goes cabbage, and yes, that is a pigtail, although you can leave it out, and a little curry.
And as usual on the island, we don't forget to use our carrots.
That's saltfish, but you can leave that out too. In goes the callaloo or chopped spinach. Then add the coconut milk and cook for about an hour.
As soon as it finishes, we'll get the national dish ready on the island.
It's a real manual thing.
The unique flavors of this culinary cruise come from the island people, but it's the rainforest and the weather, back and forth between rain and sun, that provide the ripe mangoes and the bananas and the nutmeg and the spices. Oh, and speaking of weather, what about Tropical Storm Chantal? Well, she missed us by about 100 miles, but she did leave behind a beautiful Caribbean sunset.